So no. They sat by the riverbank and they drank upstream and ate by smoky fires that dried the ground and kept the bugs at bay. Kept burning and alive since the last fire from above had split this neck of the woods like a howler's bite and gave them the gift of consumerism and fast food by roasting all winged and four-legged ones in the area at once, in a frenzied, overladen, baroque, grotesque buffet of burned beast, no need to kill and easy to chew, happily ripped into family portions and wrapped. Nothing to wrap them in since all the leaf was singed. All they could have done was roll them in ashes to get rid of the burnt fur, because it really chews so badly. See how those animals caught in the fire as they ran on the muddy bank gave over time rise to the birth of pottery and ovens, as their clay-covered remains outlasted the rest of death's lightning buffet in freshness and edibility, until there was no meat left, and no more boiled shellfish in shallow pools, and no cracked eggs, and no offspring of all those lives roasted in the bushfire. So they ate but the fruits of the garden, that grew in abundance swiftly after, feeding on the burned remains of parched soil and exploded seed bombs, mineral ashes, and soothing, tear-quenching rain. And so when a loving wife of an artist tells her beloved husband, as he's amongst that rare breed of true genius that only sell famously after anonymous death, in order to uplift his sinking spirits, much the same way as he in vain tries to uplift her ever longer dress, and studiedly failing to do so, she shouldn't be surprised at his slightly sudden traveling urges, nor her reaching out to other art forms such as monologues or installation, because at least you have to be alive to perform them, and audiences pay before the play. Unlike expositions, where an artist pays in blood, sweat, and a laudicum just to get a nice where's the finger food, which doesn't quite fill your stomach the next morning. I mean, people will stand in awe at a painting and then be bewildered at the fact that you charge more than the price of 2 hot dogs and a roll of toilet paper. Like their awe is enough and you just should give it away. Like wannabe clients at a tattoo parlor expecting discount because they let you, the tattooer, hurt them. Touch them with your needle bundle. Vaginate their skin and impregnate it with sperm ink. Take off the bandage in 2 hours and behold our love child. And yes, you pay full price for your prettiness, your vanity, your need to get his/her name tattooed so you remember what to scream in bed. You will pay as for any rite of passage, truth and lie, and all its cocktails. All them cocktails we drink since the dawn of time, and we will party to the next. And you will pay, voyeur. As you have paid for the book, so you will pay for reading it, with innocence lost and laughter shared with it. As we giggle together and they say what, and you look up halfway and say, it's just this book, letting me lie open, upturned, and turned on upon your open thighs. And they giggled with thighs spread wide, millennia before shame ever messed with animal-free feeling we still so discreetly admire in cats and dogs, until they start giving themselves head or abundantly licking their arses and we look away or tap their erected leg down for doing it on the sofa, and they're not supposed to. And they look back at us with a cat smile and a dog's grin saying, you do it on the sofa too. And so they giggled and lay there and got up and picked some fruit and ate it and lay there and sat here and crouching by the fire became a day both in the day, as the boat became a both with the riverbank. Laying there as the flotsam it was, already being housed in by little creatures from the bank, that had wasted no time to investigate this treasure cove of possible food, fuck, and shelter that had happened by. Like the homeless to a rolled-out waste bin in the alley behind a restaurant, grocery, or supermarket. Perhaps fighting over the right to scraps. Perhaps sharing the work and the prize evenly as one dives in, another stacks the edibles, and a third stands watch, looking in, out, in, out. Like pub crawlers in a new city, the holiday you never had if you can remember having it, drunk on new tastes and textures and lots of it, Fired by the lust for the unknown, besotted by life and love-making, they wove days into nights and nights into days as they both became an it and a them within they all becoming they, the they that they were. And so they licked each other, ate each other, and lay together and wandered off together. And that is where they stumbled upon the beast. A predator that wandered himself through the now lush woods looking for flesh in a feast of fruit. They'd stumbled upon it sleeping, so attack was imminent and ferocious, the beast awakening whilst biting and tearing flesh. And he got pawed by razor blade claws across his chest, and the beast in its awakening jumped and leapt away and shook his head as if to say, "Rude awakening, boy, where's my rocking chair?" He lay in the ash pit by the fire for days, and she fed him in his fever and fucked his treatments away, and when he healed and stood up, the imprint of the claw was written into his chest in the black of charcoal and the soot grease that he'd lain in, disinfected by the white ass, stained and tattooed by the black ash, a first symbol of survival. And when one of the days sat tripping on some half-poisonous edible, staring at the patterns in its fingertips, and then after long staring drew a spiral in the mud, and then a bigger one, and then laid one out in stone. One day, one of the day, took a sharp flint and cut himself, and after fire tending, that too healed as a black line. And gradually tattooing was born, and when all lined up for 4 claw-like incisions in the chest to be rubbed with charcoal and grease, a tribe was born. A belonging as well as identity control, passports and outsiders, others that might be the same, but for that mark, inclusion marks out exclusivity as a shadow follows the sun. I'm getting cooped up here in this cave, this boat, this floating cocoon. Both prison cell and hermit's refuge, my single writer neuron spaceship. While my woman laments my absence from normality and wants to cocoon with me in a work-play routine. While my kid wants to spend the summer becoming a butterfly, though she's yet to pass through the puppet stage of adolescence. I haven't moved the boat for days. I abhor the abstinence from the woman I love. I wake and sleep and wonder in words and write like a disease, compelling me to sweat out words. A rage dictating me to punch and pound phrases onto paper and into your mind, O reader, you victim of needing to go all the way to the last page, knowing it will never be enough to quench our ferocious appetite for the ever-altering routine of being. Slave like me, the writer, to get through to the bottom of this book. The stream of letters, the ripples in these pages, the end of the last line. I'm cocooning here with nothing but a phallic pen and stale crackers and the urges of life and no tribe to call my own. Though I'm well and thoroughly tattooed, but regarded as well a member of the outsiders, the misfits, the anomalies, the weird and wacky, seen everywhere, welcome nowhere, though rarely denied. Albeit often, but for humoring the moment, the freak on display, back into its box and out of theirs, always on the passing by. I wouldn't know what it's like to be normal, and that's become normal to me, tra-la-la, that's normality's insanity for you. It's different for everybody else and changes constantly over a lifetime and through the ages, places and cultures, and therefore actually does not exist. And as the coming of the man on the floating standard heralded a change in the normalities of the fruit-eating mutt-shitter clan, so do travelers, voyages, migrations, still intertwine different strands of realities, varying normalities, and crisscrossing lines of thought, rippling through the fabric of our daily lives, here strengthening, there weakening, causing waves of consciousness in our ever-expanding primal mind for us to surf onto tomorrow, where a new normal awaits the new anomaly written in its gene pool like yang into yin and yin into yang, as the sun close and the many far away chase each other across the skies. I'm getting cooped up in this book too, with nothing to distance and simultaneously bridge the gap between my mind and its filling papers, but my hand. With nothing to distance and simultaneously bridge the gap between my mind and its filling papers, but my hand. Capable of so much and having done so many, yet eager to do more, the hand, capable of murderous punch and lust-invoking sweet caress, of tearing up and stitching together, of taking and giving at the same instant, even of making you think for a moment it's someone else's hand as you lay awake in bed at night touching yourself up, or as you strike your lover in a frenzy, or see it bitten by a dog or chewed up in a chainsaw or factory machine. This hand that will sooner suffer writer's cramp than writer's block. This hand always ready to prove existence, to feed my existence, and share it through the flower of its actions. My hand decidedly on the tiller to guide the boat across and through. My hand on touching you. My hand touching you to unlock for you the pleasures that you keep. My hand giving you, me, the book. Are you still reading in the nude? Comfortably with my mind echoing in yours, mirroring your thoughts and ideas on life and the appetites of death? Or did you pull down the blinds in your mind and put me away? Though in that case, you wouldn't be here to read this. I love you. Thanks for sticking to it. Life, I mean. Thanks for staying alive and proudly be a two-legged, still wiping our arse so the brown won't stick, still fearful of the howler's bite, still rippling with emotion we can't grasp and then just translate into form, words, colors, actions, and attitudes, or precisely the lack thereof. Still just a wondrous, wandering, primal brain. A prime mind by now enhanced and stumped by evolutionary routine and leftover habits. Like stepping on something you just dropped because the foot remembers being a lower hand. Or wanting to hit someone for looking you in the eye, or kicking the dead to see if they'll rise. Or falling asleep with your lover still inside you so no other seaman can enter your cove of possible new life. Thank you for being there. You voyeur, you thief of thoughts, you eater of words, devourer of stories, ravish me, rip me to shreds and strands of storyline. Analyze me for your book club or review, or if I'm doomed to the ranks of compulsory reading, your schoolwork. Yeah, coffee, nicotine, and chocolate stain me. Scream my name and don't make me linger on your coffee table endlessly, claiming you've read me, claiming to know me through, and oh, those words so graphic, so inspired, so fucking many, too much. Read me tomorrow if you will. You must. That's what I'm here for. Life is for the living, and unread books die. Unclaimed love withers, and eventually tomorrow becomes today, and when the bounty of fruit diminished, they seasonally, periodically went out to forage, and on the way back through laziness and carelessness, dropped some of the herbs, seeds, roots, and fruits, and found them the next time having sprouted and blossomed closer by. And those that had so plentifully been reaped that some had been left to take root, out of lack of hunger for yet more of the same, how long would it take before intentional planting and irrigating took hold? How long before an inventor takes his lonely madness seriously and creates? How long for an idea to travel from the fringes of our mind, the dawn of existence, into everywhere's reality and usefulness? How long before this book is read and passed on, shared and reread? These words, like brushstrokes on a painting, keep me up all night, again and again and again, regardless of anything except the need to pee and drink, defecate and eat, smoke and rub my eyes gone sore, stretching my leg and scratching my crotch till the canvas is lading and the paint says no more. And you, still cooped up with me, in me, the book? Done any dishes lately?